Today, we will give some attention and care to our hip joints. There are various types of joints in the body. The two main ones you may hear about in class are the hinge joint and the ball and socket joints. Hinge joints relate to elbow and knee joint, which means it moves in one direction like the hinge of a door. And ball and socket joint, which relates to the hips and the shoulders, which means that it moves in all different types of directions. So let's get started. We're going to lie on the back, and for variations, I will have two bricks with me. If you don't have them, if you don't have any bricks, don't worry, you don't have to use them. It's just, you sometimes make the pose, will make the pose a little easier. So we lie on the back, and then we bring the soles of the feet together. We want to make sure that as much as possible, the blades of the feet, meaning the outer edges of the feet, the pinky sides of the feet, are connecting and touching. And then we're going to rest with the legs apart. I'm going to place the hands on the floor. I'm going to close the eyes. And we're going to bring attention to the movement of the abdomen. Just for the sake of this video, I'll make the poses a little shorter, but when you practice at home, you can do it twice or even longer. So lying here, we close the eyes, we relax the face, relax the shoulders, relax the legs, and observe the movement of the abdomen. Notice that when you breathe in, the belly will naturally rise, and when you breathe out, then the belly will naturally fall. So this is not per se a breathing exercise, meaning that you're not trying to do anything in a special way. You're just allowing the body to breathe naturally. Good. Now we're going to bring the knees in and plant the feet on the floor. I'm going to take the left leg, I'm going to bring the thigh in, I'm going to interlace the fingers to hold the shin. And just very gently we're going to pull the thigh a little closer towards the chest. Make sure that you keep your shoulders down, relaxed, the back of the neck long and soft, the face soft. If you want, you can extend the other leg, the right leg, and very gently reach out through your heel. Take a couple of conscious breaths. And if you have that right leg extended, plant the foot on the floor, and then with control release, and then bring that left foot flat on the floor. And then we switch, right leg in, hold the leg, very gently pull it in if you want, extend the leg, reaching out through your heel. Take a couple of conscious breaths. I will always recommend to have the eyes closed. It will help you concentrate. And then left foot on the floor, right foot on the floor. And carefully come out of the pose. And then sit with your legs in front. So you're going to take the right leg, I'm going to mirror you. And we're going to cross it under the left so that the knee is kind of like in line with your hip. And then we're going to plant the left foot on the floor. We're going to hold onto the shin. And then we're going to very gently pull to lift the chest. Spread your shoulders back, the collarbones. And then gently lift through the top of your head. That right leg, try to let that leg be heavy and sink towards the floor. And to just keep reaching through the top of your head. Keep your collarbones wide and conscious breathing. Now we take a little twist. So the left hand goes behind on the floor. You can use your right hand, still holding that shin, or you can wrap the arm around the leg. I'm going to use the hand. And then we push with the back hand, and then pull with this one, and then carefully turn to the side. Make sure you keep your collarbones nice and broad, the back of the neck nice and long, then using the arms, gently pull, push, and twist. Take a couple of conscious breaths. And then carefully come back to center. We'll do the other side. So undo the legs and then cross left leg under the right. Remember that knee more or less in line with your hip, or just a little bit wider. Right foot on the floor, hold your shin, pull and lift. Shoulders broad, back of the neck long, face soft. That left leg, just let it sink towards the floor, conscious breaths. And now we take the twist. Right hand goes back, left hand or arm on the leg, pull with the left, push with the right, and gently turn. Keep your shoulder blades coming together at the back so the collarbones remain nice and broad, lifting through the top of your head, breathing consciously. And then carefully, with control, come back. Undo the legs, perhaps give them a little shake. Then we'll go back to the very first pose, but this time sitting, which is a little harder. So the soles of the feet come together. Remember the blades of the feet touching. Whatever distance from heels to groin, whatever distance is comfortable. And if you can't hold onto your toes or your feet, you can hold onto your shins or the ankles. Or you can place your hands behind and then push, and that will help you lift your chest. So whatever variation is good. What you want to pay attention to is that your sacrum, the top of your sacrum, is not sinking back, but you want to use your hands wherever they are to move the top of the sacrum forward, and then to lift across through your chest, roll your shoulders back, lengthen to the top of your head, and take a couple of conscious breaths. Also, if you want, you can butterfly your legs up and down, kind of like bouncing up and down. We do a twist from this pose. Left hand goes behind, right hand goes across the other side to the ankle, shin, or foot, and then you take a gentle twist. Remember, collarbones broad, gently turn, lifting through the top of your head, conscious breathing. Carefully coming back. Other side. Carefully coming back. Good, now we're going to come into hands and knees. We're going to extend the left leg behind. And then we're going to bend the knee, open to the side, and bring the knee towards the outer shoulder. And then we do it one more time. And then we release. We'll do the other side. Extend the leg. So take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, take your knee out. Keep it up, 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 up. Bring it to the shoulder. Inhale, extend. Exhale, out and forward. Inhale, extend. And exhale, release. We're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to lift the hips. We're going to walk forward. Now here, we're going to place the fingers on the floor. Remember, the bricks are, if you find it difficult to reach, Some people say that when you bend your knees, you're cheating, but you're not actually cheating. You're just making it more affordable, more accessible. So feel free to bend the knees, hands to the floor or the bricks. And then step the left leg behind. Now, on the hands and the front foot, keep walking your foot back so that the leg is completely extended and your front knee is right over your ankle. If you look at this pose and if you turn it upside down, it's kind of like this. It's the same to the second pose we just did with knee to chest, but this time we're on the feet, so it's a little bit more of an active pose. And then we're going to press the front of the left thigh up, and we're going to reach out through that heel. We're going to lift the chest slightly, reach it forward, and take a couple of conscious breaths. Remember, if you struggle a little, you can use the bricks or anything that helps you resemble that, the bricks. We step forward with an exhalation. We breathe in, and as we exhale, we step. If you need to take more steps, don't worry, it's okay. Now the right foot goes back. Remember, keep walking that foot back until your front knee moves back in line with your ankle. Extend the leg, and then the front of the thigh pushes up, pressing nicely on the ball of the foot. Lift your heel on the fingers or on the bricks. Reach the bone of your chest forward. Keep the back of the neck long and soft, and take a couple of deep breaths. And then with an exhalation, as much steps as you need, maybe one big step. Then carefully come up. So I'm going to disappear off the frame for a second. So you're going to separate those feet just kind of like a little wide, so the heels are just a little bit wider than your hips. You're going to turn the feet to about 20-30 degrees out. You're going to step the left foot just a little bit back, so the ball of the foot is in line with your right heel. And then we're going to lift that heel, keeping that right foot flat. We're going to sit on the left heel. So I call this like a half squat, because both heels are not on the floor. And then here, if you need to use your bricks to support yourself, you don't have to touch the floor. You can rest your arms on your thighs. Spine nice and long. Whether you're sitting straight up or you're leaning forward is not that important. What's important is that your spine is nice and long. And then we take here a couple of conscious breaths. Now, for this one, we want to have the hands on the floor or the bricks. So we're going to take the left arm and push it against the left thigh to help open up that leg. You're going to lift the ball of the right foot, and then we're going to turn so the toes point to the side. And then with this hand, or the forearm, you're going to open. So with both arms, we're kind of pushing outwards. And then here we take a few breaths. And then bring that foot back in to that same angle. And then lift your chest and push up to stand. Bring that left foot to where it was before. Then we do the other side. Right foot back. Follow the foot in line with the heel. Lift your right heel and then sit down on that right heel. Hands on the floor or on the thighs. If you can't sit upright, good. If you find it difficult, lean forward a little. But wherever you are, it doesn't matter so much. What's important is that your spine is long and you're breathing consciously. Okay, then we lift the ball of the foot, we turn so the toes point straight out. And then with hand or forearm, we push. And at the same time with this hand, we also push to open a little. And then we breathe Good. And carefully sit. So legs in front. We're going to lean to the right. We're going to bend the knees and place the legs to the side. Good to see that. Your left leg, your left knee is on a straight line going out to the side with your hip. So it's not here, it goes back, if you can. And that heel, that left heel, is in line with your knee. So it doesn't come close to the butt, it goes out, so it's in line with the knee. So 90 degrees of the knee. The right leg, the line from the knee to the hip points straight in front of you, and the line from the heel, from the ankle to the knee, or rather the angle of the knee is 90 degrees. So not here, here. Now if you have to do it a little closer, that's absolutely fine. But this position opens up the hips just a little more. Now we're going to turn to face the front. We're going to use the hands to help us support, mainly that right hand, because we tend to kind of fall to the side. So we're going to gently push to get a nice lift, and you're going to feel that opening on this left hip, but also on the outside of your right leg. And then we take a couple of deep breaths. I call this pose half pigeon, because the full pigeon, this left leg extends back. Some circles, they call this 90-90. So again, shoulders broad, same principles, lifting through the top of your head and lifting your chest, breathing consciously. And then we walk the hands forward. And then you either stay on your hands or you go into the forearms. But what's most important is that you don't round your back. So keep lifting through your chest. And then fold from your hips. And then here we take a couple of conscious breaths. And then we carefully come back. Now we do the other side, so take the legs in front carefully. Lean to the left. Take both legs out. Adjust the legs like before. Use your left hand to help you get a nice lift. And try to relax this right hip, which at least in my case, I feel that tension there. So make sure you're not pushing it. If you have to lean to the side to release that because it feels uncomfortable, perhaps it's better to do that. So you kind of have a long line from knee to shoulder. But if you can, come up and sit nice and tall. And then we breathe here. Remember, you can hold it for longer. And then we go forward. So we come forward onto the hands. Notice that as you lean forward, you will start to feel that stretch on the outside of your left leg or thigh. Onto the hands, chest lifted. If you can go deeper on the forearms, but don't compromise rounding of the back in order to reach. Keep lifting through your chest and fold from the hip sockets. Nice and relaxed. Neck and face, conscious breathing, eyes closed. Trying to release tension in the hips. And then carefully coming out of the pose. Bring the legs in front. And then carefully lie on your back. Plant your feet on the floor. Rest your hands on your lap, just like we started at the beginning. Or if you prefer, you can have your palms on your belly or on your chest. And I recommend to rest here for at least, if you have time, 7 to 10 minutes. You may also want to extend the legs to the corners of the mat, meaning that the feet are kind of slightly apart. It will help you open the hips. Make sure you're breathing through the nose, so have your lips touching very gently. Just rest here. If your mind wanders, just come back into the area of the abdomen and just observe the belly rising and falling. Rising and falling.